Hey everyone, it's Rachel, and I'm here for another episode of Lift and Sketch with Christy and Rachel. I am once again back at my crop in Texas, and this time I am working with the Pink Fresh Studio Indigo Hills line. So I've got just a little bit of this left. I think I managed one more layout after this. If you notice, the sketch we are using is by Heather Leopard for Gossamer Blue, and it features just one small 3x4 photo. Now, normally I don't usually just do one smaller photo. I know it's super popular, and it's not like I do a ton of photos. I do a lot of one photo layouts. I normally don't do just a 3x4. In this case, I only have one 3x4 photo of this particular story, and it's because it was during a long blackout we had, and so I just wasn't taking a lot of photos. So I'm going to be using this what looks like to be heavily mixed media piece of paper, and that's what I'm going to be using as my background, and then I'm going to be using this multicolored geometric paper as a long vertical strip. Now, because they're all very similar in colors, and then they don't look like they meld into each other, but I wanted to use something to break it up. So I'm going to be using this indigo colored floral piece and my Stampin' Up! Scallop border punch to create a nice little barrier between the two colors to separate them better. Now, normally what I would do is I would just ink the edges, but because this was in the sketch, I was like, oh, I will go ahead and use this floral paper. So it takes me an inordinate amount of time to actually get it on correctly, because if I have one of my failings of how to do things is how to glue things on straight. That is not something that comes naturally to me. That's something I have to work at a lot. So once I get this down, and it takes a while, oh yes, and then I'm going to try to glue that vertical piece down to the background, and I'm pretty sure I need to pull that sucker back up and do that once more time. And yep, here we go again, once more, trying to get that paper on straight. I'm pretty much going to follow the sketch. I find, oh excuse me, my animals have decided to play. Super awesome. I find that in watching Christy's videos and watching my videos, I definitely have a more follow the sketch to the letter of the law, and she has a more use the sketch as an inspiration point. And I think that's so interesting, because when people talk about, quote unquote, is using a sketch cheating? Oh, actually, I don't think so at all. But I just find there's so many different elements to be able to take from a sketch, whether it be my more just look at the sketch and copy it, or Christy's more avant-garde-ish, use it as an inspiration point, maybe just using one little section or blowing one section up, or I just find it very interesting how, and I think that's a very interesting thing about the series we do, is you can see how two different people can use the same sketch. Okay, anyways, I've moved on to embellishing. I grabbed a puffy sticker to go in the upper left-hand corner, and then another puffy sticker to go on that right-hand side of that middle vertical piece, and then I grabbed a couple of scraps to be that horizontal piece under my photo. Now, I've taken a scrap of paper and a paper clip and taken some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals to make that little label banner piece that goes under the photo or by the photo. And now in the sketch, there is a line of arrows or triangles. I instead am going to be using a line of hearts. Now, that is one thing I find to be interchangeable when I see a sketch. Hearts and arrows and stars and stuff like that, those are just generic shapes for me, so I don't have a problem using different ones. Now you're going to watch me go on the Great Alpha search. I'm looking for a smaller alpha. I'm going to use that indigo one from Pink Fresh as part of my title, and then I'm going to cut away and come back with it already done. Here you go. So I ended up choosing some light gray alphas, and then we went for milkshakes at Cold Stone Creamery. And I felt I needed to share that with you. So I'm also choosing these navy authentique ones just for the word by, because my title is Breakfast by Lantern. So we've had a couple of instances, let's use the actual word, where we have lost power for several days, over a week in fact, due to very large storms. And so this particular one was just about how, it's very interesting to have to do everything by either lantern or candle for a long time. And someone remarked, we had been talking about how we were doing, and someone was like, well, it's not like electricity is necessary. And I was like, what are you smoking? Yes, you know what? In my life, electricity is necessary. I will be fully, I have no need, I don't camp. Let's just go with that. I always say I don't do dirt. Ever. So, I'm going to go ahead and put this rest of my title using the Indigo Hills Puffy Alpha. And yes, that T is a little low. I do not realize it right now. I do realize it afterwards, and I do fix that. I have got the Studio Calico. Pink for Studio. Studio Puffs. And those they look like sequins, but they're puffy stickers. They're really cute. And now I'm doing my journaling. I just drew some lines. And when I'm drawing lines, what I usually do is I start off drawing a few lines, and then as I get to the end, I draw a couple more if I am still writing. I'm always afraid that if I draw too many lines at once, I'm going to end up with a whole bunch of empty lines. And that's never actually happened to me, but it is a fear. So we're almost done here, just adding some spatters. So please go on over to Christy's channel and take a look at her video. And now you get to see something a little special. Some people are going to be interested in my video at my crop and start hanging out. So flick me a thumbs up, everyone, and have a great day. Bye!